What I've been enjoying about this game, though, is that it's pretty chill, really. You don't need to worry too much, even if you stuff up. You can sort of just do whatever, and there's usually a way around things, through things. I don't know, I've just been skilling sort of whatever comes up at the time. I kind of keep a point until I hit some sort of check that I need. It's like I could almost make this roll, but I keep a point in the bank. Like, let's just spend a point on sort of whatever comes up, because I don't know what I need. There's so many things, and I don't even understand what half of it bloody means. Savoir faire. I had no idea when this would actually come up at all. Like, it's so hard to sort of build a character, plan ahead, when you just don't know what the hell's going to happen. And the forts are confusing as hell as well. It took me ages to understand how this was working. That, like, while you're thinking you've got the minus, but it doesn't tell you... Is there any way to know what the bonus is? Yeah, it's so confusing, but that's why it's also good, because it doesn't really matter. Just do whatever. Just do whatever you feel is good. And something will happen. Because most of these, some of these I've got bonuses that are sort of shitty. I hate this one. Like, I want to unlearn this one. The left wing die. XP's nice, but I don't like them. These two are good stats. I don't like the minuses on visual, calc, and authority. My authority sucks, and that could be handy. I got plus 20% zoom out distance. It's like, okay, that's like kind of cool, I guess. It's probably something a lot cooler. But using skill points to unlock more. Skill point to unlock one, then walk around with a minus, just to like... I wish I knew what the bonus would be. But I don't think there's any real way to tell. You just gotta think about it and then see what happens. Like, there's so much... Look at all this crap. There's no way... Like, you just do whatever feels good in the journal. There's no way I'm gonna get all of this done, am I? We've got to remember what we got to do. That's right, we've got to keep a mental checklist. We have to go back and make the call about the armor. She said to just call back later. I meant to call today. It's been a day, but I called her like first thing in the morning. She's like, nah, not yet. Call back a little bit later. And this smoker on the balcony, I went there like after 9:30 and apparently it was too late. You've got to be there like right on 9 to talk to that guy. It seems to be only my only time-specific ones. Otherwise, it's just so much crap. But I haven't explored this whole area much. I kind of just ran up here. There's lots to explore in this area. So, and by that I mean talk to people.
Hello, hello. What can I do for you, officer?
We talked to this guy a bit last night, and I phased out. He was just ranting about phasmids, some crazy some insect he was setting baits for. Lena seems pretty eager for you to return.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
He looks south, where Lena would be.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
The crypto-fascist.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Lena.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here.
Nuts deep.
We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
You don't want reed crabs in your nuts.
What? Let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the phasmid somehow.
I didn't know the phasmid was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen him. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Really? She sighted the phasmid? She didn't tell me that.
Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious phasmid.
I must.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Is this guy meant to be Australian? Maybe you could go back to the whirling, warm up, come back to check the traps later.
No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. we do if the Phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this.
What if we check the traps for you?
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
He looks at you with obvious surprise. Cryptozoology and detective work are very similar.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Where are these traps?
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them...
He gestures to the trap in front of him.
You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seemed like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
What, aren't you having fun?
Even relative to examining a week-old corpse, I'm not sure mucking about in the reeds qualifies as fun. But have it your way, detective.
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
What do I do if there's a phasmid in one of the traps?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
What if I encounter the phasmid in the wild?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Pheromone mixture. Lay it on me thick. He douses you with the odd-smelling spray, a double helping as you present your other armpit, and then gives you a satisfied nod.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
He looks at the lieutenant with disdain and puts the spray back in his pocket. I'm ready.
Right. Which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. But what if the information is vital? On the hunt.
How did you become a cryptozoologist?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
Have you ever discovered a cryptid?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
So how many cryptids have been found?
Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
Only 2 have proven to be real?
Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Grad, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
Who just buy into this, not approvingly. Then the Insulindian phasmid will be the third.
Indeed. If our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Revachol to Dushantu. It will be a zoological miracle.
Dushantu.
He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
So you're living your childhood dream out here.
It's not child's play. Just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often.
Why not just be a zoologist? Real animals are puzzling too.
Real?
Yeah, that was a diss,
I know
wasn't it?
you
Calling it
think
real.
one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does.
I don't. It's a profession, just like any other.
Indeed. My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of evidence. And I have more hope that something truly surprising might happen.
And has anything truly surprising ever happened to you?
No, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid. Although I have come close. Close enough to keep trying.
What kinds of evidence do you use?
Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here, to look for the phasmid. I keep a very open mind.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
You think other scientists don't listen to ordinary people enough?
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research. And certainly not the truth. They're a cowardly lot. And both the field and basement archives can be dangerous places.
Thanks for explaining that. Now about something else.
Yes?
Specific cryptids? I don't even know why we're getting so involved in all of this in the first place. I guess it's just some big-ass kind of side quest. It's not really related to anything that we're meant to be doing.
Alright. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists. So I don't know what.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it. Since you've offered to help, you need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
Maybe. It's possible. I guess we should rule it out. I've heard this before, the Gnome of Jeroma. I know about the most dangerous cryptid, the Gnome of Jeroma.
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid?
That must be the evil apes duking it out on the giant ball.
The what?
The evil apes. I suspect I may be one myself.
Oh, you're just talking about humans. Well, yes. We are quite dangerous, but we're hardly cryptids.
He corrects his hat and says, as if it's the most sensible thing in the world.
The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially as the dread moose.
The dread moose?
Yes. The dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
Hold on. Does it also attack people?
Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into the mulch by large hooves. Infer from that what you will.
Okay. What does the dread moose look like?
Just like an ordinary Arden moose.
Then how can you tell if it's ordinary or the dread kind?
You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
A moose that looks like any other moose. What's going on here? He's kidding, right?
I'm 100% behind the dread moose. I utterly believe it exists. I don't know. I might hit him with the I'm not completely sure. Oh, let's just play along. I utterly believe it exists.
Of course you do.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more. Sightings in Vasa, reaching back 4 centuries. But, of course, nothing satiates the skepticism of.
A detective. Pardon me, I did not wish to seek conflict. It's simply my training to question things.
Understood, Lieutenant.
The man tips his hat slightly and then looks to you. Alright, I'll catch you later, Pogo. Hope the flight's alright. Which cryptid did you almost catch? You said before that you almost caught one.
A willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialists would find rather dull.
A willow person.
Willow people? Not at all.
What are willow people?
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees.
He says it in a self-explanatory, everyday manner.
They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here.
The phasmid. Seem to have evolved directly from trees. Very thin, almost flat. Wait, so I may have seen these willow people without knowing it?
You probably have.
How did you almost catch a willow person?
Gary and I painted an entire
Gary.
grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paints. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself.
Painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paint.
After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow, dashing through the grove.
And then?
I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
A lavender shadow.
I know you think we were snacking on funny mushrooms. It's easier to mock someone than to admit that the world might be more interesting than you've imagined.
Funny mushrooms.
Furthermore, I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting. I'm painfully aware of what goes into verifying such things. There is a serious possibility that I saw a squirrel or a trick of the light. I am my own harshest critic.
He makes it a real point here to sound falsifiable.
And Lena's sighting of the phasmid is that...
Confirmed. It's 100% verified and meets all the standards of an authentic cryptid sighting.
Just tell me about a cool cryptid. Any cryptid.
No offense, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories. Me? I'm not a people person, unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
He brushes an errant strand of hair from his eye. Well, enough tales then. Let's change the subject.
By all means.
It's enough cryptid talk. Talked about that crap for ages.
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer. Yellow man. I mean, officer.
What?
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man. Interesting. This is something to ask him about, after a little probing first.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
Not a lover of the great outdoors?
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Degenerates? This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
Paragon of virtue, that's us. Drunks and degenerates, that's my crew. Sadly, I think I might be a drunk. Or a degenerate. Maybe even both. We're gonna go with our drama. I'm neither of those things, I can assure you. I'm a by-the-books, clean as a whistle officer of the law. I'm not even tempted to touch intoxicants. Look at us. No, you wouldn't tell that at all.
I've been tempted on occasion. But someone has to stay strong for Revacol.
His gaze shifts to the pile of soggy logs at his feet. Soggy logs.
He pronounces Revacol with a hard K, unlike other people.
You said Revacol?
I like to pronounce it the hard way. The old way. The Vespertine way.
He nods solemnly. That's how I always say Caribbean. I like saying Caribbean. Everybody says Caribbean. I refuse.
The stupid way.
Yes.
He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message, inviting you to mispronounce it too, perhaps. It's odd. It's a secret rite. A very fringe nationalist handshake, probably.
Oh, that's right, the yellow man mug. Seat buddies to get on. Ah, yeah. What are you, Are you window seating? Are you a cryptozoologist too?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
After all this time with Morel, he must have an opinion on cryptids. This could lead to a good one.
I'm into cryptids. Do you have a favorite?
Oh, yes. The burning rhino. Morel doubts he's real, but I don't much care. Because I won't be the one looking for him out in Safra Serai.
What's a burning rhino?
A rhinoceros that looks ordinary during the day, but burns brightly by night. Well, at least the males do.
Why only the males?
The flames are not just for decoration. They are an integral part of the beast's mating behavior.
How so?
During the burning rhino's mating season, herds of male rhinos, all aflame, encircle herds of female rhinos, forming a fiery ring as they begin to copulate loudly.
Sounds fun.
Local peasants call it the passion ring. They fear the rhinos, as perhaps they should. Anyway.
The lieutenant sighs, without looking up from his notes. It's clear the burning rhino is dear to him on many levels, some even spiritual.
How do they burn?
They have special ducts just above their shoulder blades that secrete a combustible fluid. When the rhino is just beginning to light itself, it looks as though it has wings of fire.
But how is this combustible fluid lit?
How does the lighting of this fluid actually work?
The rhino starts running very fast to build heat, then stops, raises its head, and sparks fly from its neck, setting its back ablaze.
I want to be just like that rhino, running through the night with guns blazing.
We don't really do that around here.
Perhaps we should have more such decisive action in Revacol. You know, this city used to be a flaming rhino once. A long time ago.
He says and then pauses, thoughtfully. You were surprised to see my colleague, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next racist will be a really good one?
Yep.
Well, this is that racist.
He doesn't seem like much compared to Measurehead. Are you, Gary? Are you a racist?
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. I'm just stating a fact.
The lieutenant is a native of Revachol.
Oh, yes. Of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections. Let's change the subject, okay?
Sounds like some conspiracy topic. You might be able to discuss it with him when the lieutenant isn't here. If you can remember it.
Well, do we want to remember and do that later?
Return without the lieutenant. For this, your balance organ thinks it's a waste.
That's exactly. It's like the time and effort to come back around here and do it. I don't know if I could be bothered. Do you know anything about the man hanged behind the whirling in rags?
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's all.
He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on here.
Is this your mug? The yellow man mug.
My mug? Why would you think that?
You said yellow man. That's not something many people go around saying.
Really? I hear it all the time. All in jest, of course. No offense meant to anyone.
Still seems suspicious. Did I mention the mug was found at the scene of a lynching?
Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer.
How did he have access to that trash can? I hope we are about to question.
You're not going to find me, are you?
Let's not find him. I don't know, can we find him and get some money? I could use money. 20 real and just pocket it and go spend it on clothes. I don't want to push into it. I want information. I hope we can ask him how he had access to the trash can, because that seems important.
Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I won't use another man's property to dump my garbage ever again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
This guy, Gary.
Nothing.
Bloody hell, Gary.
Nothing. Just answering some questions.
How did
Helping out the law.
How did you get into the trash container?
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Why would you need to get into everyone's trash?
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Chimeans run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionics, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
Histrionics. That's a cool new word. We're learning a lot of new words through this game.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Gary, did you put the clothes of a murder victim, the man who was hanged behind the whirling in rags, into that trash container?
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that.
Do.
I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Okay, then what happened?
Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly.
He changes his mind mid-sentence.
Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before, but where?
What's that strange sound?
What sound?
That clinking I just heard when you moved.
Really?
He fans his arms out slowly, and this time his motions are soundless.
There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects, trash. Could be the wind shifting some garbage nearby.
You wouldn't know anything about the victim's missing armor, would you?
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
This guy's sus as hell. I didn't think this guy all the way out here would have all this information about what happened at the back of the whirling in rags, but apparently this guy's been hanging around quite a bit.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing.
Doesn't seem anything else I can question him on this line, though. I feel like I'd want to push this a bit more. 'Cause he's choking, he's struggling. let's move on for now. Do you want any
know
other
it, so
lines I
can
didn't
use the-
say were
I'm
there?
sorry.
Disgrace.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
I hope I could help your investigation in my small way.
My composure's very low. 17% composure 3, +1 clinking sound. Thank you for your cooperation. Do I have anything cool for composure? I did actually want to level composure as well. That was something else tempting. So we could put a point in composure, put some clothes on, try it. Well, we've got a few things. That's +2.
Hear that? Magnesium. That's what you're lacking. The lack of magnesium has you slouched.
Composure is pretty cool. It's kicking in now, talking to us. Lacking mag. So there's a lack of magnesium in me?
Yes, and it's critical. Look at yourself. You're practically devolving into a fish due to the lack of magnesium in your bloodstream.
Devolving into a fish. I need to mag it up. So I need to mag it sideways.
Mag it sideways? What are you talking about? You need to mag it up. You've probably had 2 heart attacks and a minor stroke already. And the only prescription is insane amounts of magnesium.
You're saying I need to become a magnesium-based life form.
Yes, if you want to live, you need to evolve. You need to transcend the carbon barrier. Go to the apothecary and buy insane amounts of magnesium. It will reverse the damage to your circulatory system.
Mags are not too expensive. We could go mag it up.
Always a pleasure.
Mag it
I mean,
sideways.
officers.
42% now, but I'm keen to put a point in it anyway. It's already pretty high. Composure's pretty good though.
Always a pleasure. I mean, officers.
58%. Well, it's above 50. We'll try it.
Is he?
Boo.
He's looking comfortable enough. Maybe it was just beads. Sounded like beads. But what kind of beads might a man like Gary be hiding beneath his clothes?
Gary, are you cross-dressing by any chance? Are those are you currently sporting some anal beads?
You wouldn't be able to hear if you were wearing anal beads. Please excuse my colleague's humor. Working this murder case is taking a toll on us both. You don't quite have to answer that yet.
Oh, but you will. Otherwise, we'll go looking.
What he means is, working on the case is taking a toll on you, and working with you is taking a toll on him.
Of course. Of course.
He forces a grin, no doubt hiding some colossal anal beads up his butt as he does so. Well, we failed that. It's 58% as well. I say this is reminding me of this very much XCOM vibes of that percentage doesn't matter. Like 80-something% fail and then win on like a 15%. That's how it goes. What's this?
There's a trap in the reeds
Oh,
at
what
your
are the
feet.
traps?
Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring.
Look around.
Behind you, the ruins of a residential building loom over the reeds. They whisper amongst themselves. Confidentially, snowflakes cling to their shivering stems.
Reach for the trap.
Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
No need to grin. I'm not expecting to find anything. I'm helping some citizens and getting some fresh air.
I meant no offense, just...
The lieutenant doesn't know how to finish the sentence. He looks at you, putting the trap back on the ground. He's a bit keen for us to actually focus on why we were here and the murder. We just keep dicking around to all sorts of random tasks. I've looked over here, yeah. Gonna have to jog my memory of where we've explored or not in this whole new area.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the
We
cracked
failed that
wall,
one. That was a huge
reaching
roll,
from
and we
one
failed that
corner to the
apparently.
other.
It's a bummer. Oh, we looked around sort of down in the back end here. Oh, they're gone now. He said to sort of check that one later. Check that last, yeah. Hello.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
I like a good bit of hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Hold on, hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coats, clutching to his worm-themed colouring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
Worms.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
The way we just go up and randomly ask everyone for money. You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money? Kim's already told us to stop asking everyone for money. So we'll just hit him with the, what's so fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Look at the building looming over you.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
I don't think I've heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, Elysium and Zum haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying the Feld Electrical built this boardwalk?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel, lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
What happened to the engineers, the company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He means that. The boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Turn to Mikhail. We can talk to the kid. Just straight up says he means they all got shot in the head because they were bourgeois. Now, do you know what the bourgeoisie is? Tape computers, right? Let's not be a dick. Tape computers, right?
Tape computers.
He nods. What did the revolutionaries do with these advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombecer dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant. Exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team. Trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Okay, the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Juiced. What are you talking about?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
You're making this up. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Wait, the Feld playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
I wanted to ask something else.
But of course, what else?
I think we'll just leave it there. This will just be more just repeating that,
Sure.
won't it? Yep.
What's on? But
I'm
of
not going to
course.
ask him for money.
What else?
Great. Thank you for all the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikael here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain. If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
That was a weird combo. Feld electrical.
You see, a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. What are these? Do I need a tool or something? Aha. Pariah and Jimmy. Nosafed. And 5.25 real. Shit. I don't think I've been doing... I think that's sort of just clicked that some of these are grey. If I put something in my hand, I can access them. It's probably obvious. I think I only sort of just realised that. There's some good stuff in there. Dead end. This area is all pretty big. I'm gonna get lost.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
It might be a clue.
A clue? You think our suspect is a seagull who's been defecating on unsuspecting jacket?
It could have been multiple seagulls. Kimmy, get a sense of humor, Kimmy.
A poet could write
He's
a
pretty
dozen
dumb about
verses
bullshit.
and still not begin to capture the profound vexation in that sigh. You should still take it.
Yeah, I'm taking it. Filthy jacket. This filthy rag has been at the mercy of the elements for quite some time. It's streaked with seagull shit and abnormally stiff from God knows what natural processes. You can't even tell what brand it is.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting?
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it? Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously.
Alright, let's trust our composure.
Good choice. The less you think about the jacket, the better.
White envelope. Oh, these are the signatures. We've got
Take
one.
the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan
Ooh.
in the addendum. Underneath all this, Lillian's signature and an empty line waiting for a signee.
Oh, I didn't actually look at this. I was wondering if there's a way we could get around this without actually getting the signatures. Look at the zoning plan.
The youth center
I didn't inspect
cuts
it.
into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say. My money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
How else are you going to build something? It's always inconvenient to build things, and citizens inevitably have disagreements over such construction projects. But there's no other way.
Try to find a loophole in a deal. Was it always 97? We got -1. Cool cubic pyrite. Still 97%.
There
Actually, we
is no
failed that.
loophole. The simple truth is, the current residents are going to lose their street access, and for the next 12 to 14 months, their lives will be dominated by constant construction noise right next door.
Wait, what are the ramifications of this?
Once the construction starts, it will probably take a few months, a year maybe, for even the most stubborn occupants to get tired of living like this. After that, they'll sell their property for cheap and move out.
Look, Kim, these people are going to have to move away because of the noise. So is this just sort of a low-key way to take over the area, take over the houses and the property? It's just like be such a nuisance that everybody's just going to want to move away? Look, Kim, these people are going to have to move away because of the noise.
Of course, I should have seen it.
The lieutenant frowns as he reads over the document again.
Evrard probably has eyes on us, but if the second signature were to be somehow wrong...
He won't say it outright, but he's suggesting forgery.
You're suggesting...
Forgery, yes. It would render the document invalid.
Oh yeah, let's do this.
It's not the sort of act I would normally encourage, but under the circumstances, if done discreetly, it may be the only way to save what's left of the village.
Heck, screw that
You
Everard
probably
guy.
don't have a pen? Here, you can keep this. I have
Oblong
another
pen.
one.
Thanks.
Or you could try to trick Everard. Get someone random to sign the document. By the time the union boss finds out, your business here will already be concluded.
Someone random to sign the document. Alright, commit the forgery. Let's not do it outside. -10. Everard's people could be watching you here. We need to find somewhere sneaky to forge the signature. Kind of makes me want to go back to the Revachol area then. Postcard. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. Ooh. Mega Binos prescription lenses. Oh god, those disappear too fast if you go running around everywhere. Doing the jam rock shuffling too much. Bottles, bottles. Don't think we're going anywhere up here. We've got some money. We don't have to pay for our room anymore, do we? So this is actually all fun money. A big wine canister. It's open and empty.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
Hold on, that is awful.
It doesn't help. You can still smell it.
What is it?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. That
Oh, is
faintly
that this?
cloying
Is this a dead body?
sweetness. Only death smells like that.
I thought this was someone to talk to. That guy looks pretty frozen.
Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach.
Now we found another dead body.
Fear.
We're meant to be solving one murder here. Now we found another. We're finding more dead people.
It is death. It must be.
Heads up, Lieutenant. Something's not right here.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Careful there. These floorboards look rotten and weak. Do I actually have to be careful? We go running around? It's a long way down to your death from here. 20 meters at least. I'm curious if we can actually. It would be funny if it just gave way, we went falling down and died. Stop messing with the coin viewer and hold on to something. The wind is so strong. Well,
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper.
this guy might have just like got drunk, passed out in the cold and froze to death.
The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on.
The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. Two bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Should we put some stats on for like whatever we might need here? Because we, what would be good to have on? So we could have a smoke or a drink or something. Interfacing over Half-Life? Half-Life? Half-Life. Suggestion? Composure's pretty good. Conceptualization. There's nothing to really do with these postcards, are they? Are they just some sort of collectible? Can't put them in hand or anything. Let's have a look in here first.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Examine the tear.
2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
A tragedy.
The lieutenant looks in the can, eyes watering from the smell.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness.
Examine the cigarette package.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content.
Examine the kebab wrapper.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief.
Shish kebab revachol. Maybe that's some sort of clue. Something about kebabs. Someone out here's been munching kebabs, and yes, it was within the time frame of the dead body. So I guess whoever bought this kebab might know something, unless this dude crushed a kebab.
A
Passed out.
man lies on the boardwalk. his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle.
Study the
Right
surroundings.
next to him, there's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
Did he slip and hit his head?
Be very, very careful where you step here.
Step on the floorboards.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him.
Examine the man's head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
No, just the one at the back of his head.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
Examine the bottle.
A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Tear all around us.
He looks at the two other bottles near the coin-operated viewer, then at your yellow plastic bag.
I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
True. It feels disrespectful.
Oh, but I could get about 50 cents. Examine the chewing gum wrapper.
Rubowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Look in.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified on his lower rear teeth.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is...
Oh no, is this our... the working... I just clicked. This is our working class man. The working class corpse. This is this lady's husband. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's sad.
I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
Bummer.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
The woman that we had to convince her husband was missing for no reason. Turns out he was all along. This has definitely got to be him, the way he's called working class. Study the man's clothes.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made. A cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue?
Oh no.
Oh no. This sounds terribly familiar.
Search his pockets.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark.
Examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze.
Any my pretzels.
Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all.
This is sad. Who is this man? Well, we know who he is.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
A dead working-class man with a bottle in his hand? Don't deceive yourself. You know who this is.
We know who this is. It's the working class woman's missing husband. Dead on the boardwalk.
The woman you met at the book stand? Why do you think it's her husband?
Because it's the most working-class death you've ever seen.
The leather jacket.
The bright blue lining? Well, he's definitely someone's husband.
What do you think happened here? I mean, it's pretty obvious. It feels like all of our internalization is just assumed that we know. Like, he's got drunk, tripped on this really horrible, slippery, full of holes boardwalk, hit his head on the bench, either died from the hit or got knocked out and froze while he was knocked out.
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Do you think he was drunk?
Oh, yes.
Definitely. What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
What about the kebab?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
Could it be related to the lynching? I doubt it.
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later...
Yeah, let's not go too
why
crazy.
not? But keep it simple for now.
Right, conclude.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
What should we do with him? Well, we can't really carry the body ourselves off, can we?
From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
What about field autopsy?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work.
Yes, you're right. I don't see anything criminal here. Let's leave it at that.
Good call. The guys at processing can take care of the rest.
We'll take the case, because we know what's going on. We found him. We should finish this.
Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
Folded library card.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member.
Billy's a unisex name, could be deceased or his family member. Look inside. Look at the backside.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours, 900 to 1800.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Mejean.
Look inside.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Avid reader. Well, yeah, he was married to the library lady, wasn't she? The bookstore lady. We're done here, I believe.
There's some tear. An empty...
We could take the case, but I feel like we already sort of know everything. We may as well take the case. Is that all for here? Like, can I actually get over like here. Not really. Where's this gonna take us? Buzz, hum. Yeah, screw it.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Machine is inoperable. So we're just gonna waste money if we put 10 cents in.
Calling.
Said it was inoperable.
Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. No, this is not Pierre.
Do you have any news about Pierre?
Who is Pierre?
He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
The woman moans and the phone lines howl in unison with her. I don't know who I am, but who are you?
I was a baroness.
Pause. There is silence on the other end.
You won't get me, and you won't get my money.
Phone hanging up. Disconnect tone.
Is that the same number? No, just random numbers. Just calling random numbers. This wraps back around to here. That's the guy and the kid up here. Mazout. Kick drum pulse. The music is coming from somewhere on the ice. Looking back at you from the rust-colored water, you...
Wait. Take a longer look at yourself and how you're reflected in that slick chemical rainbow. What do you see? Metaphor. It's always metaphor.
Some kind of metaphor for me?
This is more important than you. That's the blood of industry you see before you. The runoff from Coal City, further down the coast. The engines of fortune once roared here. Great wealth poured into Revachol, the Delta, as did smoke, waste, sickness, life.
What happened?
The engines stopped. The West Revacholian industrial base was dismantled after the war. Now, extinguished coke furnaces dot the landscape, a landscape despoiled by industry.
There was a serious dereliction of duty in this cleanup.
Perhaps you could dedicate your life to cleaning it up, but you're a cop. You must concern yourself with different messes. Even so, it's pretty to think.
Deep. I want this... It looks like cloves or something. I want whatever this is. School of fish huddle around the fence post and scatter into the dark. Full of holes. Could the post hide treasure? Oh, treasure! Oh, it's alcohol. Potent Pilsner. Cool. They are full of treasure. Dude, why are they all full of money? Mag. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. 2.6. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. The sign reads St. Boone. So we've got to question how much time we want to spend ticking around here, because we can forge a signature somewhere. I think if we just went inside our shack or something, forged a signature, there's a few things we need to do back home. We've got a bit of time, I guess. So I wonder what's in here.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood.
Rattle the door. Can we just knock? There's a padlock. Inspect the carpentry.
The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. Two large beams shoot downwards, sinking into the wood before they reach the threshold.
Run your hand over a beam.
The surface is smooth from the wind, but moist to the touch.
Inspect the staple.
The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached to the wood. Closer inspection reveals that one of the screws is not a screw at all, but a nail. The work has been done recently and is unprofessional, to say the least. Should you want to get through, it might be easier to just pry the whole thing off.
So I have that in my hand at the moment. This is where Mr. Prybar comes in handy.
Maybe we should circle the building first and look for another way. The building has seen enough mistreatment.
There is a touch of guilt in his voice.
Should we start with that kick drum coming from the ice? I heard a sound before.
Yes, the pulsing bass. A sure sign of junior delinquency, somewhere east of here.
There's something on the sea ice there.
Rattle the doors.
Nothing happens, only the sound of the padlock rattling against the door.
I don't think that's going to work.
This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden door. The lock is adorned with a yellow sticker.
Look at the sticker.
You see a yellow circle with two X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is clear enough. A smiling dead guy. The curve makes it smile, and the X's make it dead. There is something blindingly modern about this symbol. Its modernness puts to shame everything you've seen before.
Have you seen this symbol before?
He takes off his glasses and uses a blue handkerchief to thoroughly wipe them clean before inspecting the sticker. Then he looks up, pauses, and replies.
No. Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency.
What is junior delinquency?
For Revachol ZOC, the moral intern defined junior delinquents as minors between the ages of 10 and 16 who have committed an act in violation of the law. These acts aren't called crimes as they would be for adults. Crimes committed by minors are called delinquent acts. This was part of your officer's exams.
What is suggestive of junior delinquency here?
I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth.
I agree. It's very modern. But does the cheery guy not know he's dead? Or does the dead guy not care that he is? What is the source of the irony here?
That level of conceptual thinking is not part of my skill set.
Try to peel off the sticker without ripping it. Interfacing. Hi, we've got interfacing 3. Can we pump that up a little bit? The gloves are giving us that at the moment, aren't they? No. Just try it.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height. There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb.
Put the sticker in your ledger after the last entry, where it belongs.
Looks like today was a gold star day.
Weird. Is that just for the XP? The chain trails off into the ocean to who knows where. These rusty gears used to turn the whole machine.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
It's a red check, cannot be retried. What is this thing anyway?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
Used to service what?
The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
It may have been used to service an aerostatic battleship in the atmosphere, or a fortification, like a sea fort in the bay.
If that's a red check, maybe we shouldn't mess with this at 3%. Although I don't know if we'll ever get it open. I don't think having an item or something would change it, would it? We've already got our prying and jimmying thing. I don't know about that. Ooh, white polo shirt. +1 rhetoric. 14 cents. Oh, it's one of the traps. The boardwalk rises to your south. It casts its long shadow over you. Birdies.
A familiar apparatus lies among the reeds. Another one of Morel's traps, weighed down by stones to keep it in place.
Look around.
The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. This trap is also full of panicked locusts. No sign of any cryptozoological beast inside.
Another empty trap.
What do we say? How are you enjoying the cardio, Lieutenant? I'm quite enjoying it myself.
Always up for a good jog. Otherwise, would I still be on this case with you?
He smiles and raises his collar. He's a sassy boy, Kim.
Nothing has changed.
Sort of just the trap up here. Cigarette butts cleaned away under a rock. Brand something. Someone's made a campfire here a long time ago. A rusted, broken control box for the radio relay tower. The ladder is too rusty to climb. The sea air has eaten away at it. This relay tower coordinates boat traffic in the bay. Barely. Scented scarf. +1 shivers, -2 physical instrument. we've checked all back here. So there was a bunch of talk about this sound. The thumping bass of these juvenile delinquents. Whatever we were calling them. Ooh, we can go up here. Doesn't seem to be anything too exciting. Must have taken a lot of patience to do this. Look at these balanced stones. Oh, here's the music. Painted with pastels. Someone is trying to bring cheer into the world. Trash for some unending party. A pole screwed into the ice keeps the tent erect. More tribalistic markings. This post is covered in little humanoids. Is this a shortcut bridge? Kick this down.
A pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
What is this?
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
Push it over.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
Oh, funk.
We should ask that girl on the ice what's going on here.
First, we've opened up a bit. Oh, is this a shortcut? I think so. Yep. Cool.
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh. Hello there.
It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must be freezing.
Dear child, it's freezing. Where's your hat?
Huh?
She looks up at you, distracted.
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
I said you should have a hat on.
So should you.
Wow. Wait, don't I have a hat on? What it is? Yeah, I do have a hat on. Don't I have the bum hat? The bum's hat. I should, and I do. Point at your hat.
Oh. I didn't notice that.
It's nice. You should wear one too, if you plan on staying outside in this weather.
Yeah, well... Look, man. Fuck the hat.
My authority sucks. We're not about to strong-arm her in this hat conversation, are we? Is that kind of language really necessary?
I'm sorry I said fuck the hat. I was concentrating on something else.
Yeah, she seems nice. That escalated a bit. All about this hat talk. She hates hats.
My whole family swears and it rubbed off on me.
There's a pained expression on her face. She'll answer your questions now. What's your name?
Acel.
Acel.
Her hair is dyed blonde, with dark roots showing. There's a coarseness to her features, some masculinity below that timidness.
And your surname?
Why?
I'm from the police. It's for the paperwork. Should we tell her straight away that we're from the police? I don't know, she seems alright. I wouldn't mind knowing a full name.
Okay, it's Berger.
Borga.
A very common name.
Lying? What's that device you have there?
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still.
And the wires?
Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone.
What's a contact microphone?
A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
Your mangled brain would like you to know there is a boxer called Contact Mike.
Contact mic. What the hell? Yeah, any news on my wife's name? How about my mother? What the hell is this question?
No.
Oh, encyclopedia. I'm talking to my brain. I thought I was talking to her.
You're welcome.
My brain is recalling the fact that there's a boxer called Contact Mike, but we're still wondering about, I don't know, what about our wife or my mother? Can't remember that, but we can remember good old Contact Mike. Does this have anything to do with Contact Mike?
Yeah, I record stuff with it.
No, I mean the boxer Contact Mike.
No. This is a contact microphone. It's for recording inside solid objects. Contact mic just beats people up.
You know, Contact Mike doesn't just, but we're really going on to this whole Contact Mike discussion now. It's kind of funny. Contact Mike is a role model.
An entire litany spews forth.
Yeah, you heard right. You should try to be more, no. You should try to be more like Contact Mike, a successful athlete and an inspirational figure who has overcome social, physical, and mental obstacles.
Man, you are one weird cop.
This isn't about me. This is about your lack of respect for one of boxing's greats. For yourself.
What is it with you and this Mike guy?
She pauses. The question is rhetorical.
Okay, if it floats your boat, I'll
Wow,
be more
we
like
got a fort.
Contact Mike and less like me.
Self-respect is not meant to float any boats but your own.
I'll keep that in mind for future use.
What a weird convo. We got a fort out of it. How does that thing work?
The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble.
Funky. Where did you get the mic from?
Same place I got the recorder from, the Elysium.
What's the Elysium?
Oh man, you haven't been to the Elysium? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole.
Drug-addled shithole. That's the most, like, apt sort of description I've heard of this place from someone, I must say.
It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop
Have I not had the...
on Boogie Street in
Where's
Jamrock.
my game timer?
Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck.
Have I not had that on the whole time? I guess I can fix it when I go on break. When we take a break, I'll fix that, I guess. Leave it there for now. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck.
Thinking about it really cheers her up. It's a long way from here, though.
Sounds interesting. Who is this Arno guy? Sounds like a place for congregating homosexuals. Okay, what? Jesus. Let's say number one.
Oh yeah, guess you wouldn't know Van Eyck. Or really be a Elysium going kind of person.
I get down.
I don't know what that means.
I grind.
I don't know what that means either.
It means I'm hip beyond my years.
That's cool.
She breathes on her fingers. Looks like she doesn't know what to say. You're right. Time has deserted me.
Sucks, man.
Oh no.
Was there something else?
That hurt.
About the contact mic, perhaps?
Actually, I had some non-mic questions for you.
Okay.
What are you doing out here in the cold? I probably should just heal this now. We've got so many heals.
Recording, I guess.
And what is it you're recording exactly?
I think I'm recording cracks in the ice. But there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound.
Wait, what happened to the headphones?
My boyfriend sold them.
Oh. It's pretty shitty. What for?
I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
Drugs.
A lie. They were probably pawned off for something suspicious.
Yeah, something sus. Drugs. And what are these recordings for? The cracks, the footsteps?
The musicians in the Elysium used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain.
Just nod.
Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway.
She rubs her shoulders and looks around.
I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
She looks at the recording device, the thing she thought would fill her hours with joy and escape. It's turning out to be an empty fantasy. She feels childish, very useless all of a sudden.
Take this, your call.
The lieutenant begins to take off his jacket.
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's okay.
Give her your hat. I kind of like my bum hat. But I don't know, she needs a hat. She's nice. Should we give her a hat? We don't have many other hats. If I had more hats, I would give her one of them. With our hobo hat. I forget what our hobo hat does. Can I bail out and check?
Go ahead.
We've got empathy as well. +2 more like contact mic now. Oh, cool. We've given ourselves a better role on this. The tape recorder lies on the ice like a discarded toy. Pick it up. Are we trying to steal her tape recorder?
Okay.
I've only got one hat thing. It's giving us our reaction speed. It's also giving us -1 rhetoric, which we're running around with, so maybe we could give her our hat.
Hello again.
I want some empathy. I don't know if I just want to steal her stuff, though, or what that's actually leading to. It's too much clothes and crap now to check all this. Minus empathy, that's all we've got. Do we have any minus empathy on? Nope. That'll be a hard roll anyway.
Hello again. Recording. I think I'm recording crap. I don't know.
A lie.
The musicians. Anyway, I don't really.
She looks at the...
Take this.
No, man.
It's okay.
Give her your hat.
Thanks.
We got 5 XP. She puts it on. It's a bit large for her. You said it's supposed to be a music place. What is?
That. The boys think it could be a place, like the Elysium or something. Stupid. It's really not going to be a Elysium, that's for sure.
The boys?
Yeah. Andre and the guys, they're inside, in the tent.
And why is that?
Why are you freezing out here while the boys are inside?
They got too much stuff crammed in there. No room.
Stuff like what?
Music stuff, mostly. Like this tape recorder, but bigger. And there's piles of it.
You mean like those headphones your boyfriend sold?
Yep. They were pretty. I'm sorry we sold those.
Why not just leave some of it outside so you don't have to freeze?
That stuff is more expensive than I am. More expensive than any of us, really. Doesn't matter. I can take the cold. Go ahead.
Gave her a hat. Tell me more about this music place you've been planning in the church.
It's supposed to become, like, a club for anodic dance music, like that new style of synthesizer stuff they play at the Elysium. Except that, yeah.
She looks at the old wooden church up on the poles. As a mean wind comes bellowing in, the 6-story structure lets out a doleful shriek. What is anodic dance music?
You know, anodic, cathodic, music that's made with electronic instruments.
Electronic instruments? Like what?
Synthesizers and tape consoles. Microcomputers too. Anything that uses electricity, but isn't guitars. Also found sounds, stuff like that.
You see clear, beautiful, violent flashes of light. Light cutting through a smoke-filled darkness. That is what the future will look like, if it ever comes. This is an evolutionary step up from amplified instruments, which in turn are a step up from acoustic instruments. What comes after it, you wonder? A black-tinted nothingness, or something finer?
So you want to turn the church into a club?
I know. It's not my idea. Andre and the boys found the place. It was supposed to be deserted, but now they can't even take it. Hey, don't get me wrong, but you're cops, right?
Yes. Why do you ask?
Okay, well, maybe you could talk to Andre and the guys, because there are some strange things going on in that church. If you're police, you should look into it, right?
I'll talk to them.
They're inside that thing there. Would be cool if you did. Was there something else?
Did you put the padlock on the church door?
No.
No.
Not really, no.
She's trying to get out of a direct lie with semantic tricks. She personally didn't put the padlock on the door.
Show her the sticker. So this isn't yours?
It's Noid's.
Is this Noid a friend of yours?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Why did this Noid person put a padlock on the church door?
To keep more weirdos from getting in. Fucking Martinez. I'm sorry. It's got the worst weirdos. If you get around to it, ask Andre about him, he'll tell ya.
Enough about the church then. I had another question.
Go ahead.
Do we try this? Maybe it'll be better after we talk to the people. 58. I think if it's over 50, we gotta try it.
The device is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron, adorns its yellow plastic cover. Inside, the tape is rolling. The girl looks at the device in your hands.
I'm sorry you have to sit here on the ice, feeling miserable. At your age, or at any age, in this weather, waiting for it to get dark.
She looks you in the eye, her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup.
The people who built this world intended it to be better for you, but they failed. It is easier to live in their failure with this by your side.
The wind howls. She remains silent. It's real. Tell her.
It is not a childish fantasy. It can be a real weapon against what's coming for you now.
What is?
Do we go on about Contact Mike again? Contact Mike's been sort of funny. I don't know, she seems to be down with it. I'm once again reminded of how Contact Mike rose from the slums of St. Baptiste to the top of the boxing world, overcoming adversity and serious brain trauma. Nothing is coming, nothing you wouldn't knock out in 3 rounds. The real fight is for the right attitude.
I can't believe this turned into another Mike thing. Fine. Okay, I'll stick to it. I'll knock it out in 3 rounds. So thanks, I guess, for the psych session. Maybe I can return it. What's been eating you, officer?
You said eating me? There's nothing eating me.
Come on, I can tell. But, okay. Be a boyadero about it if you want to.
I guess there is something that's been making my life hell.
What is it?
I think it's the plight of the working class. People just keep putting their selfish interests ahead of the greater good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no one understands that sometimes you've got to make sacrifices for the sake of progress. It's all very distressing.
So, the thing that's been eating you is the slow pace of social progress?
Don't get me wrong, I'm all for slow and steady progress. I just wish people would be a little more reasonable is all.
Okay. So you're not that upset, it sounds like.
I told you I'm highly distressed by this state of affairs.
Uh-huh. And you're sure it's social progress you're distressed about, and not, I don't know, some chick?
Now that you mention it, I found these letters I'd thrown in the trash. They might have something to do with it.
Okay. Why'd you think that?
I forget what letters are we talking about. They were written in a woman's hand, and oh boy did reading them make me not feel good.
There you have it then, chick trouble. Not political after all. Who was she?
I don't remember.
Really? You seem to be pretty upset about this chica. Are you sure you don't remember anything about her?
I remember her scent, and that's all. Oh god, I'm spilling drinks on my mousepad.
Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. Are you sure the letters were for you?
Yeah, I'm sure. Why would I have reacted so strongly otherwise?
How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective memory thing?
What do you mean by selective memory?
Man, when I get hurt, I just want to forget that shit, you know? That kind of selective memory.
You might have a point there. Selective memory.
Yeah. Or it might just be some psych bullshit, you know? Königstein wank.
What is this Königstein wank?
You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people like it. People in Königstein are mostly rich.
Thanks for the bullshit psych then. Think that? Sounds a bit shitty then.
You're welcome. Might be for the best to keep that shit forgotten though. Just my opinion. If it itches, don't scratch.
Alrighty, I need to take a break, so I just spilled Red Bull all over my mouse pad. Clean that up. This might be like a 10-minute break. I actually need to take a little bit of a break here.